Hi, Junko. Okay, hi everyone. It is now Thursday, and Thursdays we study stenography. I don't have much on my screen right now because I'm looking through my textbook. And I can't show the textbook because it's copyright. So I'll be going through it. I'll try and have as much information up on screen as possible. Okay, so this is lesson 46. I'm almost at lesson 48, which is the very, very, very end. I'm thinking maybe I'll go through 46 and 47 and save 48 for another day. And by that, I mean probably Friday. 46 is packed full of information. It's got a ton of beginning sounds, no medial sounds, but it's also got a ton of ending sounds and compound words. Hello, it's vTuber from the Plover Discord. I keep pronouncing it as Plover. It's Plover. Hi! Thank you for coming by. So I'm going through lesson 46 of my Phoenix Theory textbook. Phoenix Theory, book 2. Yeah, it is Plover. The amount of us who pronounce it wrong, you think they'd add it to Merriam-Webster as Plover instead. So this whole time, I know it's always a shock. Okay, so right now we're starting with the ending sound aid, as in arcade. Arcade. Break words into shorthand strokes in such a manner as to avoid stroking the ending aid sound by itself. Decade, lemonade, brigade, stockade. The gram ending is stroked GRM. Okay, so it's anagram, game. Cablegram, received. Cardiogram, test. Kilogram, weight. That's rating. Weight. Cryptogram, puzzle. Oh, this is easy. Monogram, shirt. Loss, decade. Ah, that's not coming out right. I got this. Thank you. Decade is not coming out right, though. There. For some reason, it's TKE instead of just TK. If you put TK, it comes out as decade. But if you do TKE, it comes out as decade. I'm not sure I'm going to remember that. Arcade. Water cascade. Maybe the S sound, but yeah, super specific. It could just be my dictionary. Because this is, I am using a dictionary from a school. And they do make their own, essentially. They put a bunch of briefs in it. It can be different. Pink lemonade. Angry tirade. Like orangeade. What the heck is orangeade? Let me take out my exercise key. It can take a little while to read through the steno notes to find the correct thing. Puzzle. Arcade. Water cascade. Hand grenade. Pink lemonade, angry tirade, like or in jade, orangeade. You haven't reached briefs yet? It must be mind-boggling. Some of them, you know, they make sense immediately, and then other ones, it's like you need to practice them a lot in order to get them down. Okay, so that said or and jade. Or in I have no clue what this is. Is it in? Sometimes they hit you with a word and you have no clue what it is. It said orangeade. This is not orangeade. It's not in the dictionary. I think I might skip that one actually. Or maybe I should add it to my dictionary. I mean, I doubt it'll ever come up again. Because I have no clue what that is. Define orangeade. Orangeade. A drink made with orange juice, sweetener, and water, sometimes carbonated. Some of the words in the lapwing theory, I'm like, wow, I don't know English as well as I thought. I learned so many different words. It's amazing. It says orangeade, so I am pronouncing it correctly. Or in jade. It's not gonna come out right. Green limeade. That's not coming out either. Limeade. Orange and limeade coming up to depositions real frequently, huh? Imagine. Oh, okay. So it is in the dictionary. Limeade. It's just different from what it is in the textbook. Stockade. Hmm. Sod. Cade. This one, the words aren't translating correctly. Okay, so in the dictionary that I'm using, it seems that the aid ending is um a asterisk ed instead. Yep. Okay, this is different from the textbook. Pretty substantially different. Clean band-aid. Band-aid. Maybe this one is also in the dictionary. Yep. There. Band A asterisk ed. Brocade. Fabric. My hands are kind of cold. Game of charades. There, charades. Crusade against crime. First aid kit. Orange marmalade. Masquerade ball. Masquerade. 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 There's two ways to write that in the dictionary. Ball. Summer parade. Okay, we got ending sounds. Air and ear. As in millionaire, millionaire, and auctioneer. As in auctioneer, auctioneer. Without special distinction, the ending sounds air and ear would create conflicts with the words air and ear. Whenever possible, break words into shorthand strokes in such a manner as to avoid stroking the ending sounds air and ear by themselves. When they must be stroked by themselves, stroke air A*IR and ear AO*ER. Okay. We got exercise 4602. Rigged questionnaire. Okay. There. Gotta use the asterisk. Diamond. Solitaire. Solitaire. Lonely millionaire. Doesn't seem like I'm coming up with any conflicts yet. Commandeer. Forces. Electrical. I always forget how to write electrical. That's really recent. I think that was in lesson 45. I had to lesson 45 or 44. Yet fear. Engineer. Wow, how do I write engineer? Oh, there's 3 E's now. Engineer. What am I doing with my fingers? January. There, engineer. Engineer. Whew. Was domineering. Convicted racketeer. Riven profiteer. Ready volunteer. Volent. Ear. Volunteer. Okay. Hired. Election. I put electrician instead. Election. Election. Ear. Private. Auction. Auction. Ear. Austere. Austere. Oh, okay. Austere. Measures. That says mushers. Measures. Underwire brassiere. That's 0. What the heck? Brazier? Ah, it's Bruz ear. Youngest cashier. Cashier. Severe. Storms. Dental veneers. Debonair man. Musketeer movie. Musketeer movie. Famous. Famous was in the last chapter. Puppeteer. Domineering wife. Rugged mountaineer. Early pioneer. Okay. Pioneer. Career office. Greedy profiteer. Okay, now we have ending sounds. For and form. For is F-O-E-R, as in semaphore. I don't know what a semaphore is. And form, as in uniform. F-O-E-R-M. Uniform. When a word ends in the or, it is stroked O-E-R to prevent conflicts. We use the O-E combination for the form ending and stroke it F-O-E-R-M to distinguish it from the word form. Exercise 4603. Last on for. Adore it. Implore her. Sophomore driver. Carnivore menu. Floor form. Bottle. Won't conform. Dent form shape. Multiform order. Oil platform. Flex form layer. Work uniform. Medical form. Free form. Freeform stance. Known land form. Huh, this isn't coming out right. Landform doesn't have any suggestions either, so. Deformed shape. Misinformed mom. Can't transform. Oh, me too. Form of justice. Doesn't conform. Won't perform. I'll write that again. P-R-O-R-P-L. Word beginnings. Arrow. Arrogance. Barricade. Marital. And then arrow, as in aerodyne and carotene. The beginning sounds era and arrow, either by themselves or with a preceding consonant. Arrow, barrow, cara, para, etc. create potential conflicts with words such as air, bear, care, hair, rare, tear, etc. The beginning sounds era and arrow, either by themselves, arrow, or with a preceding consonant. Para, barrow, etc. are stroked air aeronautic, A-U-R, nautic, paradise, P-A-U-R, dice, barogram, B-A-U-R, gram. Okay, that explains it. I've seen that in the dictionary before, and it's always confused me. I see that it's because of conflicts, potential conflicts. So it's just a matter of memorizing it. Aromatic sauce, arrogant man, barometric pressure, lovely baritone, road barricade, travel caravan, wedding ceremony, how to write ceremony? Okay, ceremony. Kerosene fire, marijuana bus, marital harmony, meritorious service, how do I write that? Sometimes I'm just confused. Meritorious. Okay, so we're not doing P-H-A-U-R. We're doing P-H-A-E-U-R for meritorious. So that is not in pattern. Parachute. Parallel park. Paralyze in fear. Paralyze. In fear. Arabic country. Such arrogance. Caraway seed. Strange paradigm. Visiting paradise. Paraffin wax. Odd paragraph. Smart paramedic. Dangerous parasite. Word beginnings. Okay, we got some more. Oh my god, the next pages. They've got a ton of word beginnings for avoiding conflicts. So much information. It's a wonder I'm able to memorize any of this after just doing it a few times. Okay, so we got word beginnings, bio, and duo. Duo. Biocycle. Yeah, it does become instinctual. biocycle, duotone. These word beginnings are exceptions to the principle for omitting single vowel syllables. Without the single vowel syllable, these word beginnings are susceptible to conflict and or delayed word recognition when reading. Bio is variously pronounced bio or by-a. Write whichever sound you hear. Either will translate. Duo is correctly pronounced duo and is stroked duo. Exercise 4605. Biochemistry major. Biodegradable bottle. Biogenetic answer. Biographic story. Biophysics lab. Duodecimal figure. Duotone printing. Bioactive enzyme. Biodata report. That says diodata, excuse me. Biodata. Biodiesel fuel. Bioenergy studies. Bioethics speech. Biohazard area. Large biomass. Biometric methods. Biospheric effects. Biorhythm technique. Okay, here come the next few pages, which are full of word beginnings. Avoiding conflicts. In each of these word beginnings, omitting the single vowel syllable would leave a frequently used word or word parts. Re, ice, hall, whole, home, phone, leave, met, mill. Using the identical stroke for a word beginning or ending as is used for a word creates potential for conflict. For each of these word beginnings, you must stroke the single vowel syllable or use the shortcut stroke. Ria. It's correctly pronounced Ria and is stroked Re-u, R-E-U, as separate strokes. So it'd be Ria-scope. Never seen that before. Okay, these seem to be mostly scientific words, which is good to practice. Ice, bear, ick. Ice, dynamic. These take a lot of strokes. Holocaust, it's Holocaust. That's not it. This breaks the pattern. Holocaust. I've actually written that before. Hologram? Okay. We're not doing cool, we're doing hall. Hologram. Homophobia. Whomphobia. Okay, this one is whom. Whom-centric. Homocentric. Phonogram for phonogram. Leave a gyrate? I've never seen that word before either. Metabolic. It's M-A**ET. Metabolic. Milligram. And then we have so many words. What the is right? These are certainly words that I've never seen before. Rheostat control. Scope machine. I have no clue if I'm ever going to encounter these words again. Isobaric process. Isogenic sheep. Isolate illness. Holocaust survivor. Laser hologram. Holographic seal. Okay, that one was holographic. Homosexual activist. Homosexual. Homothermic animal. Homothermic. Phonological awareness. Phonograph record. Saw lever rotation. Lever rotation. Did I? Levocardia condition. Levocardia. Let's see. Holograph homosexual activist. Unironically, a sick band name. So true. What is this levocardia? Is it in my dictionary? It is not. How about cardia? No. This one might remain a mystery. Let me look for it in my answer key. Taking up less space than you think. Let's see. Holocaust survivor. Okay, I see that. Sexual activist. Okay, how about saw? Let me see if I can find saw. Saw leave row rotation. Levocardia. Let's see if that'll translate. Okay, it was levocardia. No, it doesn't translate. Maybe I should add it to my dictionary. I don't know. That's always a decision. When it doesn't translate correctly, do you add it to the dictionary or do you just leave it off because it doesn't really matter? Because you might not ever encounter this word again. Metadata record. Bad metaphor. Now, metaphor, I'll encounter again. Okay, I see. Bad metaphor, but for is TPOER or TPOR. Okay. Metabolic syndrome. Syndrome. It's in the dictionary as syndrome. Metaphysical science. Right? Metatarsal. Millivolt device. Milligram dose. Millimeter long. Millimeter. Millimeter. That one I'll counter against. Let me just make sure I know how to write it. Oh. I don't know how to spell it, apparently. I spelled it wrong when I was looking it up. Millimeter. Tiny millipede. Phonetic stroking of multisyllabic word beginnings. Lecture time. Utilizing application of the before or after principle, i.e., carrying across the keyboard, provides the most efficient stroking for multisyllabic word beginnings. The vowel syllable O is variously correctly pronounced O or Even when is the correct pronunciation, speakers are frequently influenced by the O spelling to pronounce these vowel syllables as O. That could leave you, the steno writer, wondering, which sound did I hear? Which sound is correct? Which sound should I write? Write the sound you hear. If the pronunciation of the O vowel is ambiguous, words will translate correctly when the sound is stroked as either or O, as in U or O. The multisyllable word beginnings in the following chart demonstrate an important application of the before or after principle. By carrying strokes through the consonant sound, we create a single vowel syllable, which we then omit. The fact that a stroke is eliminated is really secondary in importance. Of far greater importance to writing comfort and speed is that by applying the before or after principle and eliminating these vowel sound strokes, you eliminate the decision making relative to these indistinct or ambiguous vowel sounds. The following chart does not include every multisyllable word beginning in the English language, and there is nothing which should be memorized from this chart. Its purpose is simply to demonstrate a variety of multisyllable word beginnings you will encounter, and the benefits to you from adhering to the before or after principle of carrying a stroke through the consonant sounds and omitting the ambiguous single vowel syllable. Okay, so she's advocating for not memorizing beginning strokes, but instead just writing what is comfortable, okay, and trying to eliminate hesitancy from your writing. Team therapy. Okay, this next one is chiropractor. Which is not translating correctly. This one has a has a brief. But how do I write it without the brief? Tractor. Oh, I was writing it incorrectly. I see. Egocentric. Egocentric. Gynecologist. Gynecologist. Gyrostat. Gyrostat. Helicopter. Copter. Hema, as in hematuria. Hematuria. Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Hemisphere. Hemisphere. Hypoderm. Hypoderm. Leukocyte. Leukocyte. Mesoblast. Mesoblast. That one didn't. Mesoblast. Mesoblast. Said. Huh? Didn't I write that correctly? Oh. There was an asterisk in there that I put when I shouldn't have had an asterisk. That's why. Mycobacteria. Mycobacteria. Sometimes I don't realize what I'm writing. Phenocopy. Phenocopy. Phenocyte. Phencyte. Photograph. Photograph. Pneumatology. Pneumatology. Pneumogastric. 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 Prototype. Prototype. Pyromaniac. Oh, wait, pseudonym first. Pseudonym. In the textbook, it's NM, but in the dictionary, it's NEUM. Pyromaniac. Psychopath. Rhinoplasty. Rhizopod. Schizocarp. Schizocarp. Spermophile. Spermophile. Thermocouple. Thermocouple. That didn't come out right. Thermocouple. Okay, in the dictionary, they eliminated the schwa. Magnetoscope. Magnetoscope. Okay. A delete space stroke may always be used to delete a space and join two words together to form a compound word. Following are compound endings which eliminate the need to execute the delete space stroke when writing many compound words. Ugh. Same here. Now I'll be like, why isn't it registering? And I'm like, oh, my index is pressing on R. Yeah! Isn't that funny? Like, it's like, for some reason, it's just like the brain is now translating to the fingers. What is my hand doing? Absolutely. and I'll be trying to think through the strokes, and it's just like I just can't think. I just can't seem to think correctly. Like I'll be pressing the W, and I'm like, why am I pressing the W? And I'll be trying to change how I'm writing, and I'll still be like pressing keys that I shouldn't be pressing at all. It's like, it's very annoying. Wyoming. Okay, way. Ways. Gotta use the asterisk. Halfway. Hi, Jasmine. How you doing? Sideways. What's good? I'm trying to get through this this lesson, and I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Okay, newspaper is noop. Is it noop? Is it noop in my dictionary though? I'm speeding through. I'm trying my best. It's not noop in my dictionary. It's norp. Norp. My stream's going pretty well. Saw herself. Told himself. Folded itself. Do it yourself. Fixed ourselves. Got themselves. Listed yourselves. Daily norp. Okay, I wrote that wrong. Daily norp. Weekly norp. My typing speed right now is small. Very low. Because I'm just trying to get through each exercise carefully. Norp. Met halfway. Made headway. One-way street. Closest driveway. That was wrong. Driveway. Country roadways. Slid sideways. Told herself. Saw himself. Cleaned itself. Get it yourself. Asked ourselves. Thought to themselves. Set yourself your. This one's strictly because I have yourself as a brief. I didn't get any Discord requests, Jasmine. Yourselves. Up. Repaved highway. Okay, ending sounds. More. Oh, I know your Discord. You're in my server, remember? Mandatories for the words date, late, rate, and gate, which avoid conflicts with date, late, rate, and gate, word endings, also enable us to use these word endings in compound words without need to execute a delete space stroke and without creating conflicts. Mandatories for the words night, right, light, and tight, which avoid conflicts with homonyms/word parts, night, right, light, and tight, enable us to use these sounds as compound word endings without need to execute a delete space stroke and without creating conflicts. Examples: outdate, Post date. Conflicts are my enemy right now, but I will conquer them. Absolutely! We can do this. Tailgate. Wait, post date. That one was not going right. That's because I was writing it wrong. That's why. First rate. Watertight. Airtight. Searchlight. Headlight. We can just talk in my Discord server. Daylight.
Jasmine Core 33 just redeemed Pat My Head.
Do you love my hot dog hat like I do? I sure do love my hot dog hat. It's too bad my redeems are broken because Pat My Head also redeems hot dog hat, and hot dog hat also redeems Pat My Head. So people get either one. They get 2 for 1. What was it? Where was I on? I was on daylight. Flashlight. Outright. Okay, exercise 4608. Modulate. Modulate voice. Populate form. Populate. Populate. The hot dog hat has physics too. See, it moves. Populate. That one is not coming out right. 4608. Yeah, it does jiggle. That's what I like best about it. They added physics to it. It's so fun. Okay, populate is just the second one, so modulate voice, populate. Oh, it's ulate. Thank goodness for physics. Thank goodness. What would we do without physics?
Jasmine Core 33 just redeemed. Try to say this in Japanese. Can you speak Japanese?
I think that would be 日本語で話しますか? Do you speak Japanese? Can you speak? What is can you? Populate form. Populate. Populate. It could be shimas. I haven't studied Japanese in a while, so I could be getting it wrong. And the Spanish?
Jasmine Core 33 just redeemed. Try to say this in Spanish. And this Spanish?
I don't know how to say it in Spanish. Very simple sentences, but I don't know how to say them in either language correctly, I don't think. A couple weeks ago, someone from Japan did pop up in my YouTube chat. And I struggled. I was able to read what they were saying, but you know, translating it is another thing. I was able to have a very stilted conversation. Regulate rate. Schedule air date. Irritate. Used to study Japanese, but I'm like a child speaking. Oh, aren't we all? It's a difficult language to to learn when you're an English speaker. I think it's one of the hardest ones. Post date check. Update boss. Update is not even in the dictionary, so. Lacerate knee. Rate knee. Castigate child. Doesn't negate. Tailgate party. Dynamite fuse. Visit grave site. Not in the dictionary either. Maybe I should add some of these. Watertight boat. Watertight. Okay, that one was in the dictionary though. Found campsite. Just the most random things are in the dictionary. Her birthright. Birthright is also in the dictionary. Downright. Rude. I didn't know that downright was a single word. Forthright speech. Forthright speech. Copyright. I keep spelling them wrong. I want to do like I want to add a G to them when they don't need G's. Copyright fraud. Backlight light stand. Daylight plan. Daylight plan. Candlelight. Light dinner. Broken floodlight. Gotta duck out now, but good luck with the setting. I'll be sure to tune in next time. Thank you for coming by. It's always a pleasure to have people from the Plover server in my Twitch chat. Have a good time doing whatever you're doing next. Alibi. Skin tight jeans. Uptight man. Oh. Thank you too. The sound of sight. Sight. Right. It's for. Huh. Sight. Maybe I should add that. I mean, these are briefs. I think I'll add some of these to my dictionary. Okay. Okay, so it is sight, right, sight, and sight. Not right. That's not right at all. Oh. Exercise 4609. Ad starts in 1 minute. Get that dog out of my sight. I sighted her coming down the road. My goal is in sight. That one did not come out right. In sight. Did you cite him for speeding? I can't oh wait, that's the wrong one. Can you cite the case number? I can't cite the exact date. Take her out to the job site. Can you Google the site name for me? A site is a location of something. A lymphocyte how do I write that? Lymphocyte is a type of white blood cell. An astrocyte is star-shaped. A hemocyte is also a type of cell. How do I write that? Hemo. Hemo. Okay, ad break ends in 3 minutes, so I'll be taking a short break. Wow, that went by really fast. That ad break. feel like I looked down at my phone for like a few seconds and I looked back up and the ad break was over. How do I write hemocyte? Oh, whoops. Hemo. Okay. Hemocyte is also a type of cell. I have a ring set with a marcasite stone. Marcasite? I don't know what that is. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Okay, it is in the dictionary though. Marcasite stone. I went to his website to order some shoes. Did you leave your rain poncho at the campsite? My sight is too poor to see the dust in my house. Word endings. Man, men, woman, women. We also extend the principle of omitting vowels to provide optional compound word endings which simplify the stroking of many compound words by eliminating the need to execute a delete space stroke. For example, man is often pronounced men and the vowel is omitted. We've extended the principle of vowel omission to include all man endings, even when pronounced with a distinct A sound, so that all compound words ending in man may be written without executing the delete space stroke. Use the following strokes for men, women, and women. For men. Firemen. That says fireman. Men. Okay. News woman. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna have to add that. There, now it should work. Please, women. Exercise 4610. Willing bondsman. Hotel bellman. Train brakeman. Train brakeman. Naval airman. Hired businessman. Tiny chessman. Fine craftsman. Trained fireman. Union journeyman. Hired assembly women. Experienced businesswoman. Country horsewoman. A horse girl in my textbook. Stunt woman. All Congress. How do you write Congress? That's not right. Okay, all Congress women. Good. Hot saleswomen. Good police women. Funny cavemen. 10 groomsmen. Stroking compound words with the vowel omission principle. The vowel omission principle automatically distinguishes as a medial or ending stroke any stroke from which the vowel preceding the final consonant has been omitted. Consequently, this principle frequently automatically distinguishes the second word of a compound word as a word ending, making it unnecessary to execute a delete space stroke to join the two words together. Some examples have been provided for you below. Note that Old World translates correctly spelled with a hyphen. Also note by stroking Disney World as Disney World, we were able to include a dictionary entry for Disney World, properly initial capped without creating a conflict with Disney World, e.g. people know the name Disney worldwide. You will find a section in your reference book that has a chart of prefix, suffix, and compound word shortcuts. Okay, and we have a bunch of words. Again, this time I just get to look and write what I see. Sales girl. Disney World. Old World. Afterward. Handful. Noteworthy. Groundwork. Outcome. Handgun. Bookworm. Clean cut. Toothbrush. Sunburn. Cold-blooded. Donut. Outdone. Outrun. Fearsome. Rockford. Droplet. Grandson. Long term. Nightshirt. Hair person. Overheard. Handcuff. Childbirth. Nightclub. Head first. Waterfront. Sales clerk. Panic struck. A delete space stroke can always be used to join two words together to form a compound word. However, theory principles make it possible to write many compound words more efficiently by eliminating the need for a delete space stroke. Here are additional examples that illustrate the use of the optional stroking, which uses vowel omission to distinguish the ending stroke of compound words, making it unnecessary to execute a delete space stroke. There is no need to make a conscious effort at this point to memorize the following shortcuts. Okay, Homeland. I mean, she's right about that. When she's right, she's right. Whoa, I wrote that wrong. Championship. Newsstand. Outstanding. Household. Policy holder. Policy holder. Fiberglass. Footstep. Standpoint. Fingerprint. The only difference between the stroke for a word and the stroke for the shortcut for that word when used as the ending of a compound word is the omission of the vowel. You can assimilate compound word shortcuts into your writing at a comfortable pace. A list of these shortcuts, plus many others, has been provided in your reference and concordance book. I really need to buy that book. It's constantly referenced, and it seems like it would be a good addition to my Phoenix Theory collection. One day I will also have book 1 and the exercise key 1, so that I can look through the book 1 to make sure that I understand the whole theory correctly. Exercises 4611 and 4612 contain practice over just a few of the compound word shortcuts that are available. As you encounter new compound words in speed building, experiment with leaving the vowels out of the second word to see if it will join to the preceding word without using a delete space stroke. If it doesn't attach or attaches and is spelled incorrectly, then you will need to use the delete space stroke for that particular word ending. Over time and with exposure to varied vocabulary, you will build a knowledge base of what attaches and what doesn't. True. It just takes practice. The Squirrel Girl was a real bookworm. My short-term memory loss makes me look like a real airhead. The shotgun was an armful to handle and knocked me backward when I fired it. Do you think the westward expansion is newsworthy? I'm just a home-loving, homespun type of person. Homespun? Did you check to see if a spark plug has come loose? The hotel has an old world feel to it when you come in the door. We're hoping for a good outcome in this trial. Not to be outdone, she doubled her effort and won the prize. My horse threw me and I went headfirst into the bushes. Exercise 4612. White bandstand. Left hand print. Reprint book. Metal kickstand. Carved lampstand. Lampstand. Released, strangle, hold. Released. Crossed the threshold. Uphold the law. Withhold the funds. Pinpoint accuracy. Accuracy. Ranking checkpoint. Held at gunpoint. Claimed authorship. Bought dealership. Proved ownership. Was a clean-cut man. Got a sunburn. Got a sunburn. Huh? Why is that happening? I am writing sun. Oh my god, it's a Sunday. Jesus, why? It's the dictionary. It had a Sunday as a sun. So it was tripping me up. I just fixed it. Got a sunburn. Was a well done burger. Lives in Rockford. New stepson. Long-term commitment. Short-term position. Meeting chairperson. Overheard rumor. Okay, and then we have the cumulative writing activity. And it's a Q&A. Do I have Q&A selected? Yes, I do. Okay. Mr. Jones, what was your major at the university? It was a double major in microbiology. How do I write biology? And aeronautics. And are you working in those fields yourself? Yes, I design prototype thermostats. In your jurors questionnaire you state you are married. Is that correct? Yes, I am. Is your wife working? Yes, she is a policewoman. Police worm, essentially. She works in homicide division, doesn't she? Yes, that's right. Do you think that will affect your judgment outright? I don't think it will. I don't think it will affect it at all. Have you read any NORP stories on this case? I just know it involves involves murder at a waterfront nightclub. Do I want to move on to 47? It's the question of the day. Tons of briefs in this one. I was given some Reese's to eat. These are hitting the spot. The rest is mostly written dictation. It's only 6 pages. Well, technically, it's 8 pages. We're including the summary at the very end that you fill out. But it's a lot of exercises. Change that to Jones real quick. I'm just taking a screenshot for Blue Sky. Okay. Now, let's do some dictation. I'm creating transcripts for all of the videos from Platinum Steno, so I'm going to be pausing a lot to get all the information down.
Hello, welcome to the tip for the day in the 60 class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain terms. Hello, welcome to the tip for the day in the 60 class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain to the tip for the day in the 60 class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain terms that you're going to hear over and over again. So I'm going to welcome to the tip for the day in the 60 class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain terms that you're going to hear over and over again. So I'm going to give you some common terms with their brief for the day in the 60 class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain terms that you're going to hear over and over again. So I'm going to give you some common terms with their brief form so that you can write those down and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Testimony is initial. Hello, welcome to the tip for the day.
Oh my God, I can't keep up.
Class. As you will see in jury charge material, there will be certain terms that you're going to hear over and over again. So I'm going to give you some common terms with their brief form so that you can write those down and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Testimony is initial T, final M. Certain terms that you're going to hear over and over again. So I'm going to give you some common terms with their brief form so that you can write those down and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Give you some common terms with their brief form so that you can write those down and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Testimony is initial T, final M, over again. So I'm going to give you some common terms with their brief form so that you can write those down and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Testimony is initial T, final M. Record. Record is R-O-R-D, and practice those. Okay, number 1 is testimony. Testimony is initial T, final M.
Testimony is initial T.
Testimony is initial T, final M.
Final M.
Record. Record.
Whoops. Clicked on the video.
Is R-O-R-D.
R-O-R-D.
We have bailiff, B-L-I-F. Court.
Bailiff.
B-L-I-F.
B-L-L-I-F.
Courtroom, K-R-A-O-M.
K-R.
K-R-A-O-M. We have defendant.
Have defendant.
D-E-F-T.
D-E-F-T.
Plaintiff, P-L-F. And then we have juror, J.
P-L-F.
Plaintiff, P-L-F. And then we have juror, J-A-O-R. So those are some of the jury charge. Juror, J-A-O-R. So those are some of the jury charge briefs that you will need to practice and remember so that you can use those briefs when you go to write the dictation. Jury charge briefs that you will need to practice and remember so that you can use those briefs when you go to write the dictation for jury charge. It will help out. Those briefs when you go to write the dictation for jury charge. It will help out tremendously if you learn those briefs. Have a great day. You can use those briefs when you go to write the dictation for jury charge. It will help out tremendously if you learn those briefs. Have a great day.
Tremendously. Tremendously.
Dictation for jury charge. That you can use those briefs when you go to write the dictation for jury charge. It will help out tremendously if you learn those briefs. Have a great day.
Let me just add this to my document. Moving on to the test.
Hello, this is going to be a Q&A test for the 60 class. Plaintiff attorneys Mr. Moore, M. Hello, this is going to be a Q&A test for the 60 class. Plaintiff attorneys Mr. Moore, M-O-O-R-E. Defense attorney is Mr. Snyder, S-N-Y-D-E-R. Again, plaintiff attorney Mr. Moore, M-O. Again, plaintiff attorney Mr. Moore, M-O-O-R-E. And defense attorneys Mr. Snyder, S-E. And defense attorneys Mr. Snyder, S-N-Y-D-E-R. Okay, it's going to start out with defense attorney. Ready? Okay, it's going to start out with defense attorney. Ready? Do you remember? Okay, it's going to start out with defense attorney. Ready? Do you remember who performed that physical exam? I don't remember, but it's a facility. They send us to go
Facility.
but it's a facility. They send us to go have a full exam.
Oh my god. This dictionary drives me up the wall. It's correcting a facility to a few.
They send us to go have a full exam done. Okay, and that would have been in 2013. Yes. Okay. During your, well, let me ask, did you have employment before your incarceration in 2013? Correct. What did you do before your incarceration in 2013? Caregiver. And did you work for yourself or for a business? I worked for myself. And who were your clients? The elderly. And what were your duties for them? I gave medication, medicine, daily house chores, feeding, transporting, daily living. Okay. And how long were you a caregiver? I did that for 10 years. So,
I just dropped.
Feeding, transporting, daily living. Okay. And how long were you a caregiver? I did that for 10 years. So would it be fair to say you did that from approximately 2013? Excuse me.
I don't write approximately again. It's PL. I did have it right. I just forgot the asterisk.
Excuse me. 2003 to 2013. That is correct. Now, did you tell me that you were incarcerated in 2013? Yes. For 2.5 years. In 2013? Yes. For 2.5 years? Correct. So were you a caregiver before that time? Yes. Okay. And then you were incarcerated and you came out of prison and you were a caregiver again? Yes. No, 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 no. After the 6 months, I was out before I went to the academy. I worked 3 different jobs. Okay? But prior to that, I was trained. Was yes, a care prison, and you were a caregiver again? Yes. No, 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 no. After the 6 months, I was out before I went to the academy. I worked 3 different jobs. Okay? But prior to that, I was trained. I did some caregiving, but I'm sorry, I've done all kinds of work. That's fine. Okay. So I've done numerous things, and that's part of what I've done. Okay, let's go back to that first felony conviction for strong arm robbery in 2013. Were you a caregiver before that? Correct. Okay. And were you a caregiver after that? Correct. And were you a caregiver continuously until your 2013 conviction? Yes. Okay. All right. And you were always a caregiver. Is that correct? No, not always. Okay, this test has no proper names, so we don't have a word list. Okay, good luck. Okay, this test has no proper names, so we don't have a word list. Okay, good luck.
Okay, continuously. I'm adding this to my transcript thingy. Next one. Number 2, grill.
Hello, welcome to the drill portion of the 60 class. Today we're going to start out with some basic briefs that you probably have learned in theory, hopefully. Welcome to the drill portion of the 60 class. Today we're going to start out with some basic briefs. That you probably have learned in theory, hopefully, and I'm going to go down a list of basic briefs from theory. If you don't know what it is, then go ahead and write it out, okay? Ready? I'm going to start out with some basic briefs that you probably have learned in theory, hopefully, and I'm going to go down a list of basic briefs from theory. If you don't know what it is, then go ahead and write it out, okay? Ready? Weather. I'm going to go down a list of basic briefs from theory. If you don't know what it is, then go ahead and write it out, okay? Ready? Weather. If you don't know what it is, then go ahead and write it out, okay? Ready? Weather. Continue. Request. If you don't know what it is, then go ahead and write it out, okay? Ready? Weather. Continue. Request. Question. Between. Machine. Accomplish. Afternoon. Remit. Material. Problem. Program. Become. Became. event, eventually, perhaps, depth, width, length, strength, concern, observe, opposite, department, ordinary, superintendent, appreciate, appreciation, department, ordinary, superintendent, appreciate, appreciation, represent, representative. Okay, I have a drill for you, and it covers word families that start with C-O-M. I'm going to give you the word representative. Okay, I have a drill for you, and it covers word families that start with C-O-M. I'm going to give you the word first before I give you the sentences. Ready? And a lot of these, you can do what's called a squeeze, like comment. You can squeeze that. I'm going to give you the word first before I give you the sentences that start with C-O-M. I'm going to give you the word first before I give you the sentences. Ready? C-O-M. I'm going to give you the word first before I give you the sentences. Ready? And a lot of these, you can do what's called a squeeze, like comment.
Having a hard time with the word going.
C-O-M. I'm going to give you the word first before I give you the sentences. Ready? And a lot of these, you can do what's called a squeeze, like comment. You can squeeze that, K-O-M. Give you the word first before I give you the sentences. Ready? And a lot of these, you can do what's called a squeeze, like comment. You can squeeze that, K-O-M-T. Commend, you can squeeze that, K-M-E-N-D, commend. You can do what's called a squeeze, like comment. You can squeeze that, K-O-M-T. Commend, you can squeeze that, K-M-E-N-D, commend. You can do what's called a squeeze, like comment. You can squeeze that, K-O-M-T. Commend, you can squeeze that, K-M-E-N-D, commend. You can squeeze that, K-O-M-T. Commend, you can squeeze that, K-M-E-N-D, commend. You can squeeze that, K-M-E-N-D, commend. Committee, you can squeeze that, K-M-I-T, and then you just come back for long E, or the T, E-N-D, commend. Committee, you can squeeze that, K-M-I-T, and then you just come back for long E, or the A-E. You can squeeze that, K-M-I-T, and then you just come back for long E, or the T. You can squeeze that, K-M-I-T, and then you just come back for long E, or the A-E. Complete. A lot of people use the brief P-L long E-T for complete. 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 A lot of people use the brief P-L long E-T for complete. Complete. Okay. Use the brief P-L long E-T for complete. Complete. A lot of people use the brief P-L long E-T for complete. Complete. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ready? For complete. Complete. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready? T for complete. Complete. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready? comment, communicate, commend, compare, communicate, commend, compare,
Thought I was missing a word.
committee, complete, compel, comfort, complement, complicate, competent, and combine. Here are your sentences. The judge made no comment. The comment was misunderstood. Will you communicate with your broker? We cannot communicate with the agent. We will commend him for a job well done. I commend you for your effort. The committee met on Friday. Is he on the planning committee? Did you complete your training? Where is the complete set of tools? You cannot compel him to answer. Can you compel him to testify? The man gave the girl a compliment. Did you compliment the waiter on the good service? Don't try to complicate matters. Please don't complicate the situation. Is the doctor competent? Is he competent to stand trial? He will compare the two items. Did you compare the prices for me? She enjoys the comfort of a warm fire. Did the mother comfort her daughter after the accident? How do you combine the two recipes? The court reporting school will combine all of your grades to compute a grade point average. Okay, I have a number drill for you. This focuses on dates. Okay, ready? I have copies of the 5 invoices. They are dated January 13, February 21st, March 9th, April 30th, and May 16th. I believe the invoice dated January 13th, April 30th, and May 16th. I believe the invoice dated January 13th is number 540. The invoice dated February 21st is number 99501. First is number 99501.
Okay, we're going on a little break now. Be right back. I'm just eating another Reese's. I have 3 of them. And I just got done with the 3rd one.
The invoice dated March 9th is number 38954. The invoice dated April 30th is number 73668. And the final is number 73668. And the final one, dated May 16, is number 47725. If Your Honor, please, I would like these invoices.
Is Your Honor now. Oh, okay, no.
I would like these invoices entered into evidence. Okay, I've got a common word drill. These are basic verbs, preparations, articles, pronouns, etc. Okay, I've got a common word drill. These are basic verbs, preparations, articles, pronouns, etc. Okay, here we go. Okay, I've got a common word drill. These are basic verbs, preparations, articles, pronouns, etc. Okay, here we go. Ready? Get, give, go, come, keep. Okay, here we go. Ready? Get, give, go, come, articles, pronouns, etc. Okay, here we go. Ready? Get, give, go, come, keep, let, make, put, seem, take, be, do, have, say, see, send, may, will, about, across, after, against, among, at, before, between, by, down, from, in, off, on, over, through,
What the heck?
between, by, down, from, in, off, on, over, down, from, in, off, on, over, through, to, under, some, such, that, this, I, he, you, who, and, because, but, or, if, though, while, how, when, where, why, again, ever, far, forward, here, near, now, out, still, then, there, together, well, almost, enough, even, little. Okay, that concludes our drill portion of the 60 class. Have a great day.
Okay. Did another drill. Let me add this to my document. Hey, doing the literary jury charge. Lit JC. This is gonna be tough. And it's 21 minutes long, too. Oh, superintendent is spelled wrong. Back.
Hello, welcome to the literary and jury charge portion of the 60 class. I'm going to start out with a simple paragraph and then we'll move on to other material. And jury charge portion of the 60 class. I'm going to start out with a simple paragraph and then we'll move on to other material. Okay, and I will read this at 60. I'm going to start out with a simple paragraph and then we'll move on to other material. Okay, and I will read this at 60. Ready? We would like to bring to your 60. Ready? We would like to bring to your attention to the fact that your account is 9 weeks past due. We don't like to email letters of this type, and fortunately, this is the first time we have had to email to your company. We want to be sure you are aware of the situation and let you know we hope you will bring your account current. Sometimes these things happen with new customers because they are unsure of the terms of their account. Our wish is to continue serving your needs. Kindly remit your payment to the Home Savings Bank. Again, we want to continue your business relationship in the years ahead. And this is the only way we can. If we do not hear from you, your credit privileges will be suspended. Okay, I'm going to finish this article that we started called The Lawyer and the Punk. Okay, I'm going to finish this article that we started called The Lawyer and the Punk. Here we go. Ready? This did not mean I became a saint. I often hung out on campus in front of a statue did not will be lawyer and the punk. Here we go. Ready? This did not mean I became a saint. I often hung out on campus in front of a statue of St. John Baptist, arguing about politics or religion or just about anything. I remember red faces and laughter or religion, arguing about politics or religion or just about anything. I remember red faces and laughter. It was great, particularly since I knew in those days that I was never wrong, but at least my weapon was now my intellect, not my fist. If anyone had told me back when I was flipping the coin that I was going to be some big man on campus, I would have laughed in his face. But in my sophomore year, I was made head of the English Majors Society, reporter for the school paper, president of the drama club, and English Majors Society, reporter for the school paper, president of the drama club, and in 1991, my family watched with pride as I received my degree. I left that place with a dream to be a writer. I would hear about Joe Thompson from my mother from time to time. There were always stories, almost legends, about his successes, his cracking a witness's story on the stand, or getting in some powerful person's hair. For all his tough style, though, there was a sweetness to him, shown in his pro bono work with disadvantaged folks. Maybe it was the flip side of a desire to control those around him that folks. Maybe it was the flip side of a desire to control those around him that drove him to try to improve people's destinies. He was, in fact, so emotional that fellow lawyers called him the man with onions in his pocket for his tendency to cry in court. Still, I had no idea what he had done for me, but it was a kind of tribute to him, I guess, that I found myself once more before Brother Gregory, pleading the case of a buddy of mine who was having trouble in another school. The dean seemed amused by the déjà vu, but agreed to let Ian Wolowski, a Jew, enroll. And Ian, too, graduated.
Wolowski? I don't know how to write that. Wolowski.
And a Jew, enroll. And Ian, too, graduated after being immersed in the world of great ideas. I like to think Joe Thompson started a kind of chain of failed kids helping one another that continues to this day. Several years ago, I heard that Joe, in his 80s and crippled from arthritis, had suffered an aneurysm and was in frail health. Perhaps even worse, he could no longer practice law. He was deeply depressed.
I don't know how to write aneurysm. Aneurysm.
An aneurysm and was in frail health. Perhaps even worse, he could no longer practice law.
Hello.
He was deeply
Aneurysm?
depressed.
That
It finally dawned on me.
Not in my dictionary, but that is a good brief.
Worse, frail health. Perhaps even worse, he could no longer practice law. He was deeply depressed. It finally dawned on me that I had never thanked him, this man who had buffaloed me to straighten up with a single act of kindness. So I got a copy of my first published book and wrote inside, "Dear Joe, enclosed is the first book I wrote. I thought you'd like to know that things are going very well. I'm a full-time writer, 6 books, happily married, and I have 3 great children. But I wanted to say,
married
books, I'm a full-time writer, 6 books, happily married, and I have 3 great children. But I wanted to say that none of it would have happened without the love and belief you gave me that summer day in 1987. I'll never forget you. Love, Tom. A week later, I got a note from Joe, obviously written with difficulty. Dear Tom, you made an old man cry. Thank you, Joe. 2 weeks later, Joe Thompson passed away. At the funeral, his widow, Dorothy, told me my note had pulled him out of the doldrums. As I left the funeral home, for the first time, I understood. I may have given Joe a few days of happiness, but he gave me my life.
Okay. Some things are spelled wrong, but not that many, to be honest.
Great article, huh? Okay. Great article, huh? Okay, moving on to the next article. This is called copyrights. Here we go. I'm going to give you a short word list before I give you the material. We've got, okay, moving on to the next article. This is called copyrights. Here we go. I'm going to give you a short word list before I give you the material. We've got patents, copyright. This is called copyrights. Here we go. I'm going to give you a short word list before I give you the material. We've got patents, copyright, registered, inventor, intelligence, infringement, monetary, injunction, author, composer, design, infringement, monetary, injunction, author, composer, designer, artist. Okay, here we go. Ready? A substantial number of individuals, businesses, and corporations find it necessary to secure patents or copyrights. A patent is the registered right of the inventor to make, use, and sell his invention. A patent is valid for a period of 17 years. The patent application should be filled out carefully. There is a small filing fee which must accompany the application or to be paid online.
Let me move my suggestions so I can actually
to accompany the application or to be paid online. A suit for patent infringement by another may be brought. Such suits are costly and time-consuming. However, if an infringement can be proved, monetary damages and an injunction are available. A copyright.
I was stuck on infringement.
Damages be proved, monetary damages and an injunction are available. A copyright is the registered right of an author, composer, designer, or artist to reproduce, publish, and sell their works, books, music, art, and other original material.
What?
Sell their works, books, music, art, and other original material which are the result of the skill and intelligence of the creator. Copyrights are granted for a period of 28 years and may be renewed for a second 28-year period. The holder of a copyright may sue anyone for damages who violates that copyright. Copyrights may be held by individuals or by a company, such as a publishing company. Okay. Again, some of these words may be difficult, but you just need to write them out phonetically. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you some legal terms and then I'm going to read you a paragraph. Okay, you're going to hear individual, reporter. All right, write them out phonetically. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you some legal terms and then I'm going to read you a paragraph. Okay, you're going to hear individual, reporter, verbatim, and then I'm going to read you a paragraph. Okay, you're going to hear individual, reporter, verbatim, clerk, testimony, which you can write as initial T, final M, record, R-O-R-D, clerk, testimony, which you can write as initial T, final M, record, R-O-R-D, bailiff, verbatim, clerk, testimony, which you can write as initial T, final M, record, R-O-R-D,
R-O-R-D,
bailiff can be
R-O-R-D, bailiff, Let me look up bailiff. Baif. Can be baif.
Squeezed, B-L-Rod, R-O-R-D. Bailiff can be squeezed, B-L-I-F, bliff.
Bliff, B-L-I-F. Bliff.
Courtroom, K-R-A-O-M. Oath, swear, presence. Juror, J-A-O-R. Administer.
J-A-O-R.
J-A-O-R. Administer. Okay, here's your paragraph. Ready? There are several individuals in the courtroom at the time of trial. These include not only the judge, the attorneys, the plaintiff, the defendant, and the witnesses, but several other individuals whose presence is necessary. The clerk of the court keeps a record of each case that is tried. The clerk administers the oath to the jurors and swears in each of the witnesses. The bailiff or other courtroom attendants maintain order in the courtroom and remain on call to assist the judge in carrying on the business of the court. The court reporter records verbatim all testimony and colloquy. Now, I didn't give you this in the beginning, but I am going to give it to you. Records verbatim all testimony and colloquy. Now, I didn't give you this in the beginning, but I am going to give it to you now. Plaintiff, the brief for plaintiff is PL. Now, I didn't give you this in the beginning, but I am going to give it to you now. Plaintiff, the brief for plaintiff is PL final F. Defendant, I didn't give you this in the beginning, but I am going to give it to you now. Plaintiff, the brief for plaintiff is PL final F. Defendant is DEFT.
Not how to write plaintiff. Okay.
To you now. Plaintiff, the brief for plaintiff is PL final F. Defendant is DEFT. Okay, DEFT. All right, so write those down and practice those. Okay. DEFT is DEFT. Okay, DEFT. All right, so write those down. Okay, DEFT. All right, so write those down and practice those if you don't already know them. They come up a lot, so those are common briefs that you're going to hear over and over. DEFT. All right, so write those down and practice those if you don't already know them. They come up a lot, so those are common briefs that you're going to hear over and over again. So you want to get those. DEFT. Okay, DEFT. All right, so write those down and practice those if you don't already know them. They come up a lot, so those are common briefs that you're going to hear over and over again. So you want to get those down. Write them down in a book and practice those. So you want to get those down. Those are common briefs that you're going to hear over and over again. So you want to get those down. Write them down in a book and practice those. Okay? So you want to get those down. Write them down. Common briefs that you're going to hear over and over again. So you want to get those down. Write them down in a book and practice those. Okay? All right, that concludes our literature. You're going to hear over and over again. So you want to get those down. Write them down in a book and practice those. Okay? All right, that concludes our literary and jury charge for the 60 class. Have a great day. That concludes our literary in a book and practice those. Okay? All right, that concludes our literary and jury charge for the 60 class. Have a great day.
Okay, let me go through and correct this. Witnesses, necessary, glyph, phonetically, secure, infringement, onto the, Dorothy, doldrums, happiness, feud, deja vu, Ian, tendency, successes, pro bono, fortunately, oh, everything's correct now. Let me add this to my document. Literary text. Copyright. Members of the court. So unnecessary wrong. There. Now it's complete. Correct. I think so. Should I? Let's try this Q&A again. $140. Let's see how well we can do it this time.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 140 Q&A practice. We're going to start off. Looks like defense is questioning, and I'm going to give you a couple of words that you can use briefs and phrases for. You're going to hear rear view mirror, which is initial R, final FM, signal, SNAL, argumentative, ARGT, traffic, TRAFK, intersection is NERX, NERX, excuse me, SK long UM. I like to use the long U. Otherwise, you can use short M, but you have to flag scum. Collision is a squeeze, KLIGS. Insurance, INS. Defendant's exhibit, DEX. And then you're also going to hear New Mexico, Santa Fe, La Sierra, Alameda, and that's it. So we'll get started, and this is going to start with the court.
Okay.
Here we go. Thank you, Mr. Peters. Mrs. Davis, your witness. Mr. Evans, did you at any time tell the investigating officer at the scene that somebody in a red VW came up and told you that they had witnessed the accident also? That was on the police report, but I didn't remember the red VW until I came here and saw it again on the report. Did you, at the time of did you make a report to the police officer of the New Mexico Highway Patrol? I think so. And at the time you made that report, did you tell him that somebody in a red VW came up and told you that they had witnessed the accident? I think he said he witnessed it through his rear view mirror, if that means anything. That what? If that means anything. Excuse me, Mr. Evans. The question is whether you made such a statement to the police officer. Okay, I did. If it is on there, I will go along with what I said then. I guess I did. All right. Did you also tell the officer that you didn't know in which direction the red VW was heading, that you thought it was going north on Alameda? I don't remember what I told him. What does it say on there? May we hand the witness defendant's Exhibit A? Would you look at it, the third page of that police report, where it says witness number 1? Yes, I'm looking at it. Now, does it say there that witness Evans also stated that a man in a red VW stopped and told Evans that he had gone through the intersection and then observed the traffic collision in the rear view mirror, and that vehicle number 2 had passed through a red light? That is what it says. Did you make that statement to the investigating officer? I don't remember saying it. I don't remember much about it. I guess I said it. I don't think I lied. You can ask him if I said it. And on page 4, it says witness Evans stated he does not know in what direction the red VW was traveling, but believes it was northbound on Alameda. Did you make that statement to the officer? I don't remember. Now, getting back to the question put to you earlier about another report made to the investigating officer of the Santa Fe Insurance Company, do you recall at all making any report to an agent purporting to be someone representing the Santa Fe Insurance Company? I don't remember the guy. I really don't. Do you consider yourself as having a pretty good memory? Well, I made it this far, you know. I remember things that I have to take care of myself. Other people's problems, I don't think that much about. Mr. Evans, you testified earlier that you looked up at the traffic light on the northwest corner of La Sierra and Alameda, and that as you looked up, the light indicated red for the westbound traffic. Is that correct? I testified earlier when? Just a few minutes ago. I can't remember saying which light it was. I think it was the northwest. Mr. Evans, please collect your thoughts. Your testimony is important. But you are not certain? I'm not certain. Are you certain as to what color the light was when you looked up? I'm certain the light was red when I looked at it. Now, why are you so certain, or what makes you so sure that the light was red? What do you rely on to base your answer that the light was red? My eyes. Could it have been green? Wait a minute. As you stated, counsel, I object to the question as argumentative. It is ambiguous. It is uncertain. It could have been any color. He already testified as to what he observed. Objection sustained. Let me whatsoever concerning the color of that light when you looked up at it. No. Now, will you tell me all the facts on which you rely indicating that the light was in fact red? The facts I rely on: my pants are black, my socks are green. Mr. Evans, let me put it this way. You don't recall exactly which corner the light was on? Was that your testimony? Which corner the signal was on that you observed? Well, I will tell you what I recall about the signal. Somewhere between the overhead thing over the gas station, the awning over the pumps, and the gas station, when I looked up, I managed to see what I think is the light that stands way over the center of the street. It hangs off an arch and is attached to a pole that sits at the northwest corner. I'm pretty sure that that is the light I saw. Okay, switching over to another transcript. This is going to be plaintiff questioning. When you stopped this vehicle, did the police unit stop in back of it, or alongside of it, or in front of it, or how? In back of it. Did you and Mr. Morris both leave the police vehicle? Yes, sir, we did. Did you have your guns drawn? Yes, sir, I did. Did Mr. Morris go to one side and you go to the other side of the pickup truck? No, sir. Did you order Mr. Warren out of the truck? Yes, sir. Now, when Mr. Warren was ordered out of the truck, tell us how he got out of his vehicle. He got out of his vehicle with his hands in front of him. With his hands extended, they were extended upward at about a 45-degree angle, I would estimate. Palms downward? Yes, sir. Approximately what period of time elapsed from the time of the call until the arrival of the backup unit? The backup unit arrived, I would say, approximately 2 minutes after we stopped Mr. Warren in his vehicle. And that backup unit, the function of the officers in the unit would be to take care of the vehicle. Is that correct? Yes, sir, and render any assistance that we might need. What time of night was this approximately? It would have been approximately 11:50. Are you sure it was 11:50? Well, I looked at my watch. Okay, switching over. Again, I'm going to give you a little bit of Q&A that's from a medical doctor.
Can't keep up at all.
And this is defense. Here we go. Having examined Mr. Johnson, if he had been faking this about this delusion, would you have been able to discover it? One can't say definitely, but it certainly seemed consistent with what we see in an actual acute alcoholic psychotic reaction. Drawing upon your medical experience, do you have any doubts in your mind with regard to the hallucinations that Mr. Johnson told you about that evening? No, personally, I feel that he really did perceive this hallucination. During the time that Mr. Johnson would have been hallucinating this threat, that he felt he was suffering from this devil at the time that he was firing this rifle. Would it have been that he was firing at the devil? I really couldn't definitely say whether it was that organized an act or not. In a state of acute panic, feeling threatened by this thing, which was following him, even about his own house, as he described it. He was firing a gun, which was his response to a dangerous situation. Whether it was a more organized act than that, I couldn't say. Now, doctor, subsequent to your examining Mr. Johnson, did you make a written report with regard to your examination? Yes. If I may approach the witness, Your Honor? Certainly. Doctor, I show you what appears to be on your stationery a letter addressed to the Honorable James K. Turner and ask you if you recognize this. Yes, I do. Is this a copy of a letter that you submitted with regard to your examination of Mr. Johnson? Yes, that is actually the second examination. I really didn't understand why I was ordered to see him at that time. I had already seen him in January and already submitted a report. Now, in comparing your January report with your March 10 report, is there any deviation from your conclusions or your opinions with regard to Mr. Johnson's capacity to understand or know the quality of his acts or to distinguish between right and wrong? No, I believe the reports are essentially the same. I wonder if you would look at all 3 pages or all 4 pages dated March 10, doctor, and tell me if this is a copy of the
Okay, I'm taking a break. Be right back. Domain expansion, malevolent shrine. Okay.
That you sent in to the report to the court. Yes, that's a copy of the one I have here. Thank you, Doctor. Your Honor, we would move to have this introduced as Defendants J. Go ahead. No objection, Your Honor. It will be received in evidence as Defendants J. Okay, and that concludes our 140 Q&A practice. Have a great day.
I did terribly. I did see that I managed to spike up to 160 words per minute for like a few seconds. Like, oh my god. Who is this? Who's the one writing? Okay, let's try literary jury charge. Gotta practice a lot. You want to hope to get to 225, you gotta practice.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 140 Literary and Jury Charge selection. We're going to start out with a reading from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, okay? And this is on Become More Patient. All right, here we go. Ready? The quality of patience goes a long way toward your goal of creating a more peaceful and loving self. The more patient you are, the more accepting you will be of what is, rather than insisting that life be exactly as you would like it to be. Without patience, life is extremely frustrating. You are easily annoyed, bothered, and irritated. Patience adds a dimension.
Okay, wait. I need to know how to write patient. Patience. Patience. Patience.
Of ease and acceptance to your life. It's essential for inner peace. Becoming more patient involves opening your heart to the present moment, gently reminding yourself to relax. It might also be a good time to breathe, as well as an opportunity to remind yourself that in the bigger scheme of things, being late is small stuff. Patience also involves seeing the innocence in others. My wife Chris and I have 2 young children, ages 4 and 7. On many occasions, while writing this book, our 4-year-old daughter has walked into my office and interrupted my work, which can be disruptive to a writer. What I have learned to do most of the time is to see the innocence in her behavior rather than to focus on the potential implications of her interruption. I won't get my work done. I'll lose my train of thought. This was my only opportunity to write today, and so forth. I remind myself why she is coming to see me, because she loves me, not because she is conspiring to ruin my work. When I remember to see the innocence, I immediately bring forth a feeling of patience, and my attention is brought back to the moment. Any irritation that may have been building is eliminated, and I'm reminded once again of how fortunate I am to have such beautiful children. I have found that if you look deeply enough, you can almost always see the innocence in other people, as well as in potentially frustrating situations. When you do, you will become a more patient and peaceful person, and in some strange way, you begin to enjoy many of the moments that used to frustrate you. Good advice there. All right, I've got some legal terms
Legal terms.
And then I'm going to read you the paragraph.
I'm going to do terribly on this one too. Legal terms.
All right. Let me just mark my watch. 8.5.
Opportunity. Right, opportunity.
All right.
There. It spiked up to 200. That was fake.
Here we go. All right, so you're going to hear real property, easement, tenancy, encumbrances, conveyed, deed, ownership, and the brief for that is OIP, specified, common, abstract, plat, liens, title, and conveys. All right, here we go. Ready? Real property is the land and everything attached to it or growing from it. The ownership of real property is called title. Title to real property may be conveyed from one person to another through an instrument called a deed. Liens, encumbrances, and a history of the ownership of real property are found in the abstract. The map showing the division of the land into lots is called the plat. An easement conveys the right for land to be used for some other specified purpose. For example, utility companies may exercise their easement rights. There are two types of ownership of land and property: tenancy in common and joint tenancy. All right. I've got a small paragraph here, and I'm going to give you the words, and then I'm going to read you the paragraph one time at 140, and then I'm going to pick it up to 160.
160?
Okay. All right, so the first time will be at 140. Okay. All right, so you're going to hear womanized,
What?
deterioration, preserve, process, exposed, undergone. Okay, here we go. Ready? Womanized lumber is lumber that has gone through a process that preserves it from rapid deterioration when it is exposed to cement or to the ground. After the womanizing process, pine will last as long as redwood. When the builder wants to use wood that will stand up under such conditions, he should consider womanized lumber. In areas where redwood is more expensive because of freight costs, womanized lumber is the answer. Okay, so now I'm going to read the same paragraph, but at 160.
I don't know what womanized lumber is. Womanized? Yeah, I hope that wasn't my actual email that popped up. Hold up. Let me check. Oh, thank God. It's my VTuber email. Womanized lumber. Womanized lumber. I keep putting bumber instead of lumber. Womanized lumber.
Womanized lumber is lumber that has gone through a process that preserves it from rapid deterioration when it is exposed to cement or to the ground. After the womanizing process, pine will last as long as redwood. When the builder wants to use wood that will stand up under such conditions, he should consider womanized lumber. In areas where redwood is more expensive because of freight costs, womanized lumber is the answer. Okay, now I'm going to go back down to 140. Womanized lumber is lumber that has gone through a process that preserves it from rapid deterioration when it is exposed to cement or to the ground. After the womanizing process, pine will last as long as redwood. When the builder wants to use wood that will stand up under such conditions, he should consider womanized lumber. In areas where redwood is more expensive because of freight costs, womanized lumber is the answer.
Yep.
Okay, and womanized is spelled Wolmanized.
Womanized. Womanized lumber.
All right, I've got an article here on earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
So you're going to hear seismology, seismograph, geological, volcanoes, Japan, South America, dislocation, gigantic, earthquake, crust, propounded. All right, here we go. The crust of the earth is constantly changing. Gigantic forces are continually at work, reshaping the rocks of which the crust consists, moving them, bending them, and cracking them. We are not aware of this gradual process until the day an earthquake occurs. Earthquakes are a common occurrence. In some areas of the world, such as California, South America, and Japan, hundreds of quakes take place each day, but they are so minor that they are not even felt. The study of earthquakes is called seismology. The instrument to measure the intensity of an earthquake is the seismograph. The great majority of earthquakes are caused by rapid movements or dislocations of the Earth's underground structure. Several theories have been propounded regarding the reason for these dislocations occurring. Many scientists feel that quakes are a result of a natural geological process that interplays with the force of gravity. Certain earthquakes can be directly associated with volcanoes. The science of seismology is relatively new. Since changes in the Earth's crust take place over thousands of years, scientists have difficulty determining cause and effect. And we are here in California, so we experience that all the time. But I have to say, I would much rather be in earthquake territory than some of the other disasters that people have to go through, like tornadoes. I don't think I could handle that. So those of you in Missouri and Kansas, I give you props, because I think that would just scare me like no other. All right, here we go. We're going to, I'm going to read to you the court's ruling. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. We're talking about a man here of more than just average intellect. This is a man who deals with the law day in and day out. Certainly he knows what constitutes a legitimate agreement for entering into some kind of loan. He knows that if he died, for example, that may not be sufficient to cause his estate to obtain, upon a divorce, any kind of compensation for that kind of loan, or for his parents to collect upon the sale of any piece of property. I think the fact that he failed to get this document in writing, this alleged agreement of his failure to come up with any kind of a second trust deed, or make any kind of written record at all regarding this transaction, requires that the court see it for what it is, and that is a gift, pure and simple. And I think that the court clearly makes that finding. These are issues that routinely come before this court in dissolution matters, and I take a fairly hard line when it comes to people alleging that past transactions were loans versus gifts, because it's an easy allegation to make that a transaction prior was a loan versus a gift, because in reality, what happens generally is one party is going to be paying half the debt and the other party is going to be relieved of the debt from his or her relatives from whom the money was originally received. So consequently, I take a fairly conservative approach because it's an easy allegation to make. The court likes to see corroborating circumstantial evidence indicating to the court that, in fact, we do have an obligation rather than a gift. I don't require a promissory note, and I don't require a second trust deed. If that was the case, then the issue would easily resolve itself and we wouldn't be here at trial. The court recognizes that oftentimes with family business transactions, oftentimes they're not reduced to promissory notes and deeds of trust simply because we are dealing with family members. That's probably not the best business practice, but it does happen with frequency. In this particular case, the court has a check dated January 21st, 2006, made out to both of the parties in this case in the amount of $120,000 signed by Mr. Mason Sr. with the designation loan. It appears to the court that the designation on the check was executed or signed by the same person under the evidence code. Obviously, I have the right to review signatures and handwriting for my own individual comparison. It does appear to be the same, and it does appear to be the same color of ink. It does appear to be the same pen that was used to denote loan, or similar pen to denote loan versus the signature. Also, I have the letter written, allegedly written on June 1st, 2008. That does carry less evidentiary weight because we don't have an envelope with a postage mark on it. This kind of evidence can be fabricated fairly easily. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it isn't, but it is subject to fabrication. However, I have a second check dated May 30th, 2008 in the amount of $11,030, and that's been explained by Mr. Mason. The burden of proof here is by preponderance of the evidence. This allegation concerning the loan is attempted to be rebutted by the FHA transaction and the gift letter. I'm assuming that there was a gift letter that was submitted, and I accept the testimony of the witness, Haley Robertson. But again, relying on common sense, that doesn't necessarily characterize, in reality, the transaction that occurred between the Masons. It may well be a case of fraud against the government, but it doesn't necessarily rebut the allegation made by Mr. Mason that the transaction was a loan. The court finds by the preponderance of the evidence that this obligation of $120,000 is in fact a loan to the community. The court so finds in favor of the plaintiff. Okay.
That was tough.
I'm going to start an article here. If we don't get through it, we'll finish it in the next class. And this is on the plight of the grizzly.
Grizzly bear.
Okay.
Huh.
And the growing controversy over how to save the great bears. All too little has been said about why. All right, here we go. This is from the Sports Illustrated magazine. Bees, spiders, and snakes have proved more deadly in a statistical way, but only the great bear, the most formidable beast in the New World, has been able to make meat of humankind in direct confrontations. So as we began to settle in Big Bear ranges, clearing the places of grizzlies was imperative if we wanted a nice place to live. This has been largely accomplished. About 100,000 grizzlies once roamed the West. Now, only 500 to 700 survive, mostly in northern Montana and northwestern Wyoming. There are still up to 25,000 animals in western Canada and Alaska. In regard to our relationship, grizzlies haven't changed much since we began routing them. They remain determined to pursue and defend their own self-interest by violent means if necessary, and generally don't give a damn about what we want. There is no reason to expect that they can be persuaded to act differently than they always have. But our opinions about grizzlies have changed. In 1990, we decided that the grizzlies remaining in these states should be preserved. And ever since, bureaucrats, scientists, and private wildlife organizations have been feuding about why the bears are disappearing and who is to blame. The Park Service has been accused of mismanagement, principally because some years ago it closed open pit garbage dumps in Yellowstone National Park, where many grizzlies had fed for more than 70 years. The Forest Service was charged with being more interested in ranchers, timber companies, and oil drillers than in grizzlies. And state game agencies caught heat for not enforcing laws to protect them. As a result, we have come to appreciate that there are few things in the world so difficult to preserve as a wild grizzly bear. The biological problems are relatively minor, but the political, social, and economic problems are exceedingly complex. Several recent happenings suggest these difficulties. And I will stop there and we'll finish up in the next class with this article.
That was tough. Man. It's hard trying to keep up. Let's do one more Q&A, and then I'm gonna log off.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 140 Q&A practice. I'm going to give you a short word list so you can write out some of these words before we start. You're going to hear semantics, clarification, disposal, Willow Lane, Martin Cohen, Cordova, narcotics, penitentiary, vicinity, ambiguous, drug dealer, nefarious, which means evil or bad, transactions. Okay, this is going to start off with plaintiff attorney. You're also going to hear investigation, and the brief for that is VEGS. And officer is on here. I write officer, initial S, final F-er, but you may have a different way to write it. That's that way I write it. All right, here we go. Ready? Now, Officer Newmeyer, you were in possession of information from which you concluded that Mr. Stevenson had information that would be of value to you in some investigation. Well, I will object as being ambiguous, Your Honor. May we have the question, Miss Reporter? Do you follow that question? I would have to answer that yes. As the question was stated, I would say yes. Thank you. Now, what was the case that you were investigating that supplied that information? I was interested in finding out where a party by the name of Cordova was living. I had information that Mr. Cordova was living on Willow Lane within the general vicinity of this particular property, 2204 Willow Lane, Memphis, Tennessee. Did you have any information that indicated to you that Mr. Cordova knew Mr. Stevenson or Mr. Stevenson knew Mr. Cordova? Not specifically, no, sir. Did you have any information that Mr. Cordova was living at or might be living on Willow Lane? As I previously stated, the information I had at my disposal at that time was that Mr. Cordova was living somewhere on Willow Lane in that general vicinity, and knowing the vicinity, there were only about 3 places that had actual residences on them, and this 2204 was one of the residences that was occupied by Mr. Stevenson. All right, at that time then, you knew that 2204 Willow Lane was occupied by Mr. Stevenson? To the best of my knowledge, it was occupied by Mr. Stevenson. All right, and what was the source of your information regarding Mr. Cordova? Deputy Martin Cohen of the Tennessee Criminal Investigation Bureau. Was that the only source of information that you had regarding this Mr. Cordova? No. All right, what was the other source or sources? General street conversation with individuals that I have arrested, people that I talked to. I had arrested Cordova in the past. He was a large supplier of dangerous drugs, narcotics, in the Memphis area. He had done time in the state penitentiary, and he was involved in a lot of nefarious activities in our community. No one in particular, nothing specific, other than the information from Deputy Cohen and what I had stored from my vast resources in talking to people. All right, now in connection with your previous arrests of Mr. Cordova, had he ever indicated that he, at any time, had lived or had business transactions at 2204 Willow Lane? Objection, immaterial. Quite material, goes to the issue of this officer's knowledge, the facts that he possessed at the time that he went there, and whether or not those facts reasonably justified his going to that location at all. We will hear from you. I didn't hear you. We will hear from you. Well, Your Honor, he said that he had information from Deputy Cohen. What he found out from Mr. Cordova during past arrests is immaterial. The question is what he had in his possession on the date he went to 2204 Willow Lane concerning Mr. Cordova. If I may add, he indicated he received information in addition to that which he had from Officer Cohen through several other sources, one of which was his previous arrests of Cordova, and secondly, through conversations that he had with other people that he had arrested, and information regarding Cordova's activities as a large drug dealer. Overruled, you may answer. Read the question, Miss Reporter. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. No. All right, was 2204 Willow Lane an address that was in any way connected with large-scale drug activities in this area in your personal experience? It would be a matter of semantics with you and me, sir. I don't know what you mean by large scale. Large scale, for the purpose of clarification, would be used in reference to the question in the same context that you used it in regard to Mr. Cordova's activities in this, yes, sir, area. Yes, sir. And the answer is yes, 2204. Yes, sir. 2204 Willow Lane has been brought to my attention as possibly a large-scale traffic spot for drugs in that area. Now, had you made any arrests for drugs at 2204 Willow Lane prior to the date that the time that you went there? No, sir, I had not. Do you know anyone else, fellow officers, that had made such arrests at that address? No, sir, I do not. Then would it be fair to say that your opinion that this 2204 Willow Lane was connected with large-scale drug transactions would be true if Cordova, the man you were looking for, had been there or had activities there? No, sir. Okay, I'm going to switch transcripts. And you're going to hear grapevine, restaurant. The brief for that is S-T-R-A-U-N-T, straunt. Attorney, T-O-R-N. Torn is a long O. Escrow is S-K-R long O, scrow. You're going to hear real estate and neighbor. Neighbor is N long A-B, nabe. Okay, this is defense questioning. Approximately how long did the conversation last that occurred where you were discussing maybe renting his property? I would say about 5 minutes or so. It was just in the driveway and out. That's all there was to it. Did you hear by way of the grapevine that his property might be for sale or lease? Yes, you can ask any of the neighbors right on down the street about the place. Well, is there any sort of a sign up that says it is for rent or anything like that? No. Did a particular person say Mr. Gardner was interested in renting his property or selling it or something? No. You hear of a place for rent, and everybody goes and looks at it, you know, to see if it's something better than they have now. I am just trying to figure out from whom you heard it. Oh, I don't know. Did you meet somebody in a restaurant, or did a real estate broker tell you, or did you see it online? No, it wasn't a real estate broker. There was no sign on the property? No. Did a real estate broker help you in finding the place that you have now? No, sir, I found my own. Did you handle your own escrow for that place? Sure did. You say you did handle your own escrow? Yes, I did. That's interesting because you don't go through escrow if you are simply renting. Okay, I'm going to switch transcripts again. Do a little bit of medical. All right, here we go. Doctor, I wonder if you could tell us what significance, if any, In your examination of Mr. Johnson, you placed upon these statements allegedly made by Mr. Johnson, such as the ones I repeated to you. I'm sorry I shot the officers out there. I just shot. It doesn't mean anything to me anyway. This was made shortly after he was taken into custody, I assumed. I examined him about that several times specifically, and he didn't recall making those statements, information indicating that at that time he was episodically in and out of an amnesia state where he was moved from one room to another without remembering it and not recalling part of his x-rays, and he didn't have any recall of that. Doctor, you practice over at the Orange County Medical Center, is that right? Yes. Are you at all familiar with the emergency room procedures? To some extent, yes. Do you have any knowledge whether it's customary to leave a patient in the emergency room unattended by a medical personnel when that patient has been wounded? I don't believe it's customary. Would it be customary at the Orange County Medical Center to always have a medical person in attendance with someone suffering from shock and who has been shot? Yes, they keep them under pretty close observation, I believe. Doctor, I hate to be redundant, and I hope I'm not, but back to these alleged statements made by Mr. Johnson over at the Orange County Medical Center. Do you recall reading these police reports where these statements were contained? Yes. Did you place any significance in those statements, or do you know a place, or do you place a significance in those statements that your opinion as to Mr. Johnson's state of mind, to wit, whether or not he could distinguish between right and wrong and knew the nature and quality of his acts on this night? Do these statements change your opinion in any way whatsoever? No, I don't believe so. Doctor, I wonder, did you form any opinion as to when Mr. Johnson first went into this acute alcoholic hallucinosis state and when he came out of it? No, I wasn't really able to get the time differential there. He probably went into it when he was still drinking in the bar, when he first saw this image up over the bar. And he can describe this very vividly and was still in it while he went home. That's one of the things that is different in this type of a psychotic episode than others. There is still some ability to comprehend what is happening and react. For instance, he was able to run home and find his house. In other words, they aren't completely out of contact with their surroundings. He was still responding to the hallucinations, and he probably remained in that state with some variation in the degree of it. There are sometimes brief, lucid intervals. He recalls the ride to the hospital, and he was probably more in contact then, and he probably lost contact again after being there. That's characteristic of this. Often it comes and goes until they finally sleep, and then they wake up, and the next day are usually fairly clear, but this type of episode is usually terminated by sleep. Okay, and that concludes our...
Okay, that's it. That's it for that. I'll just end the stream here. You could see that I was looking through my following list to see if any of my friends are online. They're not yet. I'll be back tomorrow to play Yakuza 0. We're doing the premium adventure. It's gonna be a lot of me running around trying to find the people that unlock the sub stories. We've still got a ton of sub stories to get through. It'll be fun. Anyway, that's it for this stream. Thanks for everyone who came by. I really appreciate it. And goodbye.